Hi everyone, it's time for another Let's Play video. Today we're going to play Horrible Hordes. If you want to learn the rules, go back and check one of the earlier videos. We're going to just dive right into it. Today, we're trying to actually finally beat the first mission, at least, and maybe we can go further than that. So today our secret weapon is going to be playing as two players instead of as one player. Hopefully this will give us the extra boost we need to get through. So we got our life totals, our ammo totals, we got our randomization dice here, d4, 6, 8, 12, 20, and a stack of mini d6s for enemy life. So we have our mission. It says that we start by shuffling in the blue key. We're going to try to find the blue key in this deck by beating enemies, picking up items, and then after we find the blue key, we'll shuffle in the red key. After we find the red key, we'll shuffle in the exit, and we'll try to make it to the exit without getting destroyed by the Horde. The idea is like a card game version of a 90s hack and slash shooter kind of game like Doom or Chex Quest. Alright, so we're going to enter the first room by flipping over cards until we find an event card. Oh, it's an event. Okay, it's a trap. Well, the Horde would take the first turn in this room, but there's no Horde. So we'll go to the next room. Small Zorch refill. Sprint. We can pick up an item before combat starts. Well, there's no enemies to fight, so we'll just pick up this Zorch refill. Since it's two players, we have to decide who gets it. And we'll just, I guess, give it to Fred Chexter. He'll get +5 Zorch. Our other character is Dr. Orion today. There's 4 others. So then we'll go to the next room. Go. Okay, so we're getting a lot of empty rooms, which means it's going to have to balance out, and somewhere there's going to be a very full room. Hopefully we'll make it through. So this room starts with a Phlegmoides Bipedicus and a slime repellent, a bowl of fruit, commonest, and double take. We can discard any card in the room and then flip over the next card, and now that's in the room. Let's try to discard the toughest enemy and see if we get an item. Oh, we got a weaker enemy. Okay, well, that's good. Alright, so we'll give these guys some health. The Phlegmoides commonest starts with 3 health. When it attacks, it does a d4 of damage. Okay, but we always take the first turn, so we decide amongst ourselves what order we go in. Doesn't really matter a whole lot right now. We're starting with the same equipment. So we'll spend a Zorch over here and roll a d6, go after this guy. And it's a 1. A 1 is always a miss. So now we'll have the next character take a turn, Dr. Orion. She'll spend a Zorch, roll a d6, same guy. And it's a 2, so he goes down to 1 health. Now they take a turn. They always go left to right in very predictable order. The Horde is dumb. Okay. 3. We decide who they attack to. So we'll say that the first one attacks Fred, the second one attacks Dr. Orion. So 3 damage to Fred Chexter, down to 47 health. Next one, it's a 2 damage to Dr. Orion, down to 48 health. Oh, she starts at 45. There's some minor differences between the characters, like starting health, and they have abilities, but those aren't very fleshed out, and we'll just ignore the abilities for now. Okay, they took a turn. Now it's our turn. Again, let's just go Fred first. We'll spend a Zorch, go after that first one, see if we can eliminate it. 3, okay, that one's gone. And then Dr. Orion will spend a Zorch, roll a d6 after the only remaining one. It's a 1, she misses, okay. This one comes back, and it's going to go after Fred. And it's a 1, it misses, we get a turn. Fred's going to go after this commonest. And it's 2 damage, okay. Dr. Orion's going to spend a Zorch to do the same thing. It's a 3. Okay, so we knock out this Phlegmoides commonest. So the room's been cleared of enemies. Now we have some items we can pick up, and we just decide amongst ourselves who gets them. So bowl of fruit will heal 10 health, and let's give it to Dr. Orion. She has less health, and so she'll go back up to her maximum of 45. Slime repellent is damage prevention. Wears off after 1 room, so we'll give that to Dr. Orion. So the way that the armor works, a slime repellent counts as kind of like an armor item. It's got a -1 from any incoming attack roll that would affect her. And that would not turn a 2 into a 1 that misses. It would just reduce the damage. But you only miss on the natural one. So we'll go to the next room. Phlegmoides Cycloptus, Phlegmoides Bipedicus, bowl of veggies, Phlegmoides commonest, small Zorch refill, Phlegmoides Bipedicus, water, rapid Zorcher, small Zorch refill. Remember how I said we were going to have a full room because we had an empty room? Okay, so we're going to make 2 rows. The order of enemies matters. The relative order of enemies and items doesn't really matter. So we'll just put the items in the back row, enemies in the front, and we're going to keep going until we find an event. Might run out of deck, who knows. Slime repellent. We're going to need that slime repellent. Okay, sneak attack. The first character to attack in this room does double damage. So we get 1 double strength hit. So let's assign some hit points to all these enemies first. The commonest gets 3. Another commonest. Another commonest. The Bipedicus gets 5. It does a d6 of damage when it attacks. And then the Cycloptus is a lot tougher. It has 10 health. It deals a d8 of damage to each of us, and it has 2 armor, so 2 damage prevented to each incoming attack. Okay, so Fred Chuckster's going to start. He's going to go after the Cycloptus with that double strength attack. So we'll spend 1 Zorch, roll a d6, and it'll be like a double number d6. 4, okay. So 4 doubles to 8, minus 2 from his armor is 6 damage, so he goes down to 4 health. Not bad. Dr. Orion's going to take another swing at that same guy. A 1, a miss. Okay, now it's their turn, and we're going to probably take a good beating from this. Okay, Cycloptus is going to attack, always going left to right, so 3 damage to Fred, and then 7 damage to Dr. Orion, down to 38. Bipedicus is a d6, he'll go to Fred, 5, go down to 39. And we'll just I guess alternate calmness to Dr. Orion. Oh, Dr. Orion got -1 from her armor. That's right. Or sorry, the other way's minus. Okay, 2. Okay, that becomes a 1, so she takes 1 damage. Next one, Bipedicus to Fred. 6. Yikes. Commonest to Dr. Orion. 4 minuses to 3, so 35. Bipedicus to Fred. Another 6. Yikes. Okay. And then another commonest to Dr. Orion, 4 minuses to 3, so 32. Okay, now we get another turn. Fred's going to go after the Cycloptus, spend 1 d6, it's a 5. 5 minus 2 is 3, down to 1 health. Dr. Orion, same deal. 3 minus 2 is 1, perfect, knocks it out. Now they get a turn. I think this time, let's say, the Bipedicuses will hit Dr. Orion, and the commonesses will hit Fred to even it out a little bit. 6, so that becomes a 5, which is 27, and then a 4 at Fred. 4, yikes, okay. 6 at Dr. Orion, it's a miss. 4 at Fred, it's a miss. 6 at Dr. Orion, it's 6 down to 5. Becomes a 22 health, and then another miss at Fred. Okay, we get a turn. Hopefully now we can start pecking them off. So Fred will go after this Bipedicus. 6, nice. Dr. Orion, go after this Bipedicus. 3. All right, they get a turn. Let's alternate. Commonest is to Fred, because Dr. Orion still has the armor. All right, so Commonest. 4 to Fred, 19 health. Next one to Dr. Orion, miss to Fred, miss to Dr. Orion. 5 becomes 4, so we go down to 18 health. And then the last one to Fred, it's 4. Okay. Fred's turn, spend d6. Go after this Bipedicus. Oh, it's a miss. Yikes. Okay. Dr. Ryan's going to go after this one with a Boot Spoon, which is a free d4 attack. Oh, it's a miss. Okay. Wow. Okay. Same thing as before. D4's over here. 4 down to 11. D6 to Dr. Ryan. 3 becomes a 2. 4 to Fred. It's a 2. He's down to 9 health. 6 to Dr. Orion, 2, becomes a 1, 4 to Fred, it's a miss. Okay, they get a turn. Fred, d6 at that. It's a 4. Dr. Orion, d6 at that. 2. They get a turn. We'll just alternate 4 to Fred. Miss. 4 to Dr. Orion. 4 becomes a 3. 6 to Fred. It's a 3, down to 6 health. And 4 to Dr. Orion. Miss. Okay, they get a turn. Fred's going to spend his Zorch, go after this one. 3 knocks it out. Dr. Orion spends his Zorch, go after this one. No, go after Bipedicus. 3 knocks it out. Okay, they get a turn. They'll go after Fred first. That's a 4, down to 2 health. And then the next one's going to go after Dr. Orion. 3 becomes a 2, down to 10 health. Okay, they get a turn. We get a turn. We'll go after this one. 3, knock it out. And then Dr. Orion after that one. 6 knocks it out. Okay, wow. I had my doubts there for a bit. Okay, so we survived the room. Barely. Fred's at less... the slime repellent wears off after a room. Fred's going to have these veggies because he's at lower health. So he'll get 20 health up to 22. Now Dr. Ryan's at lower health. We'll give her a water to heal 1 health up to 11. And we'll give her a new slime repellent to have some more defense. And then we have some Zorch. We'll give Fred the Rapid Zorcher. When this is picked up, he gets 20 Zorch, up to 35. The Rapid Zorcher, it's kind of like the small Zorcher. You can roll 3 d6s, 1, 2, or 3 d6s, spending 1, 2, or 3 ammo. And then we'll give these other ammos to Dr. Ryan to replenish, so she'll get plus 10 ammo, up to 21. Okay, so I think we're almost through. I think this is the last room, only 2 cards, so there should be okay. There's the blue key, and then another Rapid Zorcher. So the last room often doesn't have an event because you passed all the events, and the end of deck is the end of the room. Okay, so there's no enemies here, so we just pick this stuff up. We'll give Dr. Ryan this Zorcher, and she'll gain 20 Zorch for picking that up. Alright, so we got the blue key. Now we gotta shuffle in the red key and do it again. Now we have the Rapid Zorcher, so even though we're at lower health, the slime repellent wore off in that last room. Even though we're at lower health, we get to attack 3 times as much every turn. So, should be okay, I think. But it's definitely possible we'll get knocked out. Let's see. Alright, first room. Go. That's an event that does nothing. Second room. Oh, slime repellent. Slime repellent already wore off. Okay. Phlemois Bipedicus. Phlemois Communis. Sprint. We can pick up an item before combat starts, but there's no items. Okay. So 3 health and 5 health. Our first turn, Fred will spend 2 Zorch and go after each of them with 1 d6. First one's 2. Second one is a miss. Dr. Orion's kind of spend 2 and do the same thing. First one is a 2 down to 1. Second one is a 4, knocks it out. Okay, they get to turn. They're going to come after Fred because he has more health. D6. 3, okay. Down to 19. And then we'll get a turn. Fred's going to do a d4 free attack with the boot spoon, knocks it out. Okay, next room. Bowl of fruit. Sneak attack. Well, we would get to do double damage on our first character, but we don't have any one to attack. So we'll pick up the bowl of fruit, get 10 health for Dr. Orion, go to the next room. Communis, Bipedicus, water, Cycloptus, slime repellent, Communis, small Zorch refill, double take. We can discard any card in the room and then flip over the top card. Well, the Cycloptus is the toughest enemy in this level, so we'll flip that out and we'll get it. It's a trap. The Horde takes the first turn in this room. Okay, well, they're not that tough, so who cares? 3 health, 3 health, 5 health. Okay, so this guy will come at, we'll just alternate. 4 to Fred, it's a miss. 6 to Dr. Orion, that's a 6. She goes down to 15 health. And then 4 to Fred again, and that's 2. Okay, we get a turn. We'll crank up 3. Fred's going to just go after each one of them once. 6, that's a knockout. 4, that's a 1 health. And 1, that's a miss. Dr. Orion's going to do 1 at each of them. 2, that's a knockout. 1, that's a miss. Okay, this one's going to attack Fred on its turn. 4 to Fred. Fred's going to attack it with a boot spoon for D4. 3 knocks it out. Okay, cool. We beat the room. So who's at lower health? Fred's at lower health. Look at the water. Gain a health. He's still at lower health, so we'll give him the slime repellent for the next room. And the Zorch refill will go to Fred also because he has less Zorch. Let's go up to 35. All right, next room. We're cruising along in this one. Commonest, Zorch refill, small Zorch refills, Plummoids by Pedicus, slime repellent, bowl of veggies, red key, another by Pedicus, and a commonest. Okay, so this is our last room. Filling out the deck here. So I'm gonna kick the items to the back row for just ease of visual recognition. Okay, 5 health, 5 health. 3 health, 3 health. Okay, cool. Fred's going to pay 3 Zorch and go down the line from the start. It's 2 damage to this guy, 2 damage to this guy, 5 damage, knocks out this one. Okay, Dr. Orion, same plan, starting at the end. 5, 2, knocks him down to 1 health. And a miss. Okay, they'll take a turn. Mr. D6 at the end here. I'll come at Fred. It's a miss. And then D4 is going to come at Dr. Orion. 3. Down to 12. Okay, we'll take a turn. Fred's going to spend 2. Go after both of them once. 3 knocks it out. And 6 knocks it out. Okay, cool. Cleared the room. So we got the red key. We'll get a bowl of veggies to Dr. Orion. She's at less health. She'll go up to 32. Slime repellent wears off. Fred's at less health. We'll give him the slime repellent. And they're both similar on Zorch, so we'll give them each a small refill plus 5 Zorch. And then we'll shuffle in the exit and go for the 3rd stage of Mission 1. I think we got it. I think between the rapid Zorcher and eating some snacks along the way, we're going to make it to Mission 2. Alright, first room by Pedicus. Small Zorch refill. Go. Cool. So, goes to the discard. Pedicus has 5 health. Fred's going to... slime repellent wore off, I think. Did it? No, that's from the last room. I'll wear it after this room. Okay, Fred's going to do 2 D6s. A 5. Okay, we don't have to roll the second one. Slime repellent wears off. Zorch refill goes to Fred since he's slower. It's not automatic. You just decide among your play group who's going to get the refills. Next room, small Zorch refill, bowl of veggies, Cycloptus, Commonest. It's a trap. The Horde takes the first turn in this room. So we'll get some health on these guys. So the Cycloptus does a D8 to both of us. Separate D8s to both of us. 7 to Fred. Uh-oh. And 5 to Dr. Orion. Alright, our turn. Fred's going to do 3. All at the Cycloptus. 6 minus 2 armor is 4. 3 minus 2 armor is 1. 3 minus 2 armor is 1. Dr. Orion is going to do 2 at the Cycloptus, 1 at the Commonest. 5 minus 2 is 3. 2 minus 2 is 0. Okay, and then the Commonest is a miss. Okay, they'll take a turn. Again, a D8 both players. 8. Fred's knocked out. 1 misses Dr. Orion, and then the Commonest at Dr. Orion. 2. Okay, Dr. Orion. Spend 3. Cycloptus twice, Commonest once. Okay, first one knocks out the Cycloptus, second one is redundant, and 6 to the Commonest. Okay, Commonest is knocked out. I haven't run into a case where a player dies and another player doesn't. I'm going to say that maybe we can revive him with this bowl of veggies. I think that's a fun roll. Okay. So Fred's at 20 health. Not bad. Small Zorch refill to Dr. Orion. She's lower. And next room. The exit. Okay, if we can just beat this room. Small Zorch refill, water, commonest, Pipedicus, commonest. Sneak attack. The first character does double damage in this room. Put some health on everyone. And then Fred will go down the line. 3 hits. Okay, double 3 is 6. Done. Double 5. Don't even need the doubling. Yeah. Knocking him out. Okay, so we'll get a water to Fred because he's lower health. Small Zorch refill to Fred because he's a lower Zorch. And the exit, we beat the mission. Let's see. I think I'm going to cut the video and start mission 2 on the next video. But we'll keep our stats, we'll keep our inventory, and see where it goes.